Greetings and welcome back to Mr. Joules. Today I'm back on the subject of fuses and fuse holders. Here those are. I bought 5 of them, and yeah, those look really, I don't know, it's not oozing quality out of it. Here is the construction of the thing. So it's basically a wire terminated with a crimped on connector that touches onto one side of the fuse, and there is a spring, and the other side has just got the crimped on connector. Those are terminated with a nice wire. It's a soft wire, but it's not terribly thick. 22 gauge wire, 600 volt insulation possible. It's very thick insulation on here. Those came as a set with rather interesting fuses. It's a standard 20mm fuse, but the markings are so faint I had trouble reading out, but it actually says F10 amp, F10A, so 10 amp 250 volt. Rather thick wire. When you compare the fusible wire inside this fuse to the wire that's on the holder, this is marginally thinner. So I'm gonna be using the fuse supplied with it, which is already mounted in the fuse holder. This is the inline fuse from eBay with a supplied 10 amp fuse inside in Mr. Joules. I'm going to prepare Mr. Joules, engage it, switch on the power, and Mr. Joules is charging as usual to the nominal 400 volts. Since last time I've replaced the bulb, I've put a new bulb in here. The last one blew up. This is the inline fuse holder with F10A fuse inside from eBay in Mr. Joules. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yet again, the fuse actually proved to do its job. Those fast-acting fuses are not too bad, I guess. I'm having more success before I was having with the slow-blow fuses. Let's see if I can find one. Here is the fuse that was inside. I've just taken it out, and you can see it's all blackened and charred, and even on the outside, so that means something was happening on the outside of the fuse as well, not only inside. The inside is all plated with copper and remains of the wire, so a little bit of the explosion got from the inside to the outside, but it kinda held up. I've got this one. It's just a 2 amp 250 volt, but it's got this coiled up wire. So let's see if that will do any different. If this doesn't work, we'll just wire our own fuse. The luck must have it, I just keep getting relatively good fuses. I need to look for special rubbish ones. Okay, here is take 2. Mr. Joules with a fuse holder, and this time a 2 amp 250 volt fuse inside, a strange coiled up one. So power on. Mr. Joules is already ready, and Mr. Joules is charging to the nominal 400 volts. Let's have a look. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, yet again good fuse. And let's see, I can hear some cracking, so I think this fuse might have disintegrated inside. And yes, it did. So this fuse holder did contain the explosion. It was violent enough to crack the fuse into powder. Even though it looks quite rubbish, it actually does the job. Let's try one more test. For this last test for today, I've made my own rubbish fuse. So I've took one of the 2 amp fuses, which I've got a whole box of, and took it apart and stuffed it with a selection of random wires. That must be like 10 or so threads of a wire, like you see here on the end. The purpose of this is A, for entertainment, and B, to test how strong the actual fuse holder is. So here it is, the last one for today. This is the dodgy fuse in a inline fuse holder in Mr. Joules. And Mr. Joules is squeaking and charging to its nominal 400 volts. In 3, 2, 1. something happened. We have clearly exceeded the rating of the wire that was wired up in the fuse holder, because it detached itself completely free. It's rather warm, and my fuse did blew and also welded itself onto one of the contacts. So here it is. I hope you enjoyed it. The fuse holder did hold up to a degree. The wire coming to it didn't. And the fuses turned out to be much better than I anticipated. So I had to wire up a dodgy fuse, which still didn't explode because the wire connected to the fuse holder went first. I don't know, maybe I should rewire this fuse with a much thicker gauge wire and then try to get an explosion and see how will it behave. You let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe for more random stuff and for more Mr. Joules. For this video, that's it. So, take care.